What's going on, Center City Church?
You already know.
Welcome to our weekly podcast where we spend a little bit of time diving a little bit deeper in the Sunday morning.
Yeah, and I'm excited. I wasn't here yesterday, Sunday, but I watched online, which is always fun to be able to kind of feel like you still know what happened. And I'm just really excited because you took a minute as part of the message, but it kind of got me all in my feels. Just talking through the faithfulness of God in the last year. It's been a really big year for Center City, to the point where I remember last week looking up and being like, I can't believe that this decision that we made was just in January, talking about kind of stepping out into sovereignty, I don't know the right word, as a church.
Yeah.
But it made me want to ask you, both for Center City Church and for you and your family personally, how have you seen God's faithfulness throughout 2022?
I think for me, God's faithfulness has kind of shown up, and this is probably a pretty big church word, but in provision. Mm-hmm. There has been provision made for every step. There's seasons of life where you kind of make the step and wait for the provision, and that's just being faithful to what God said. Once we were convinced, and once I kind of felt like this is what God was saying, and this is the direction He was moving us in, not just as a church, but even as a family, we were going to make that move. But to see the way that God has showed up in provision, the way that He's shown up, not just in financial provision, but relational provision and support, the way that He's kind of rallied people around not just our church, but even my wife and I, has been absolutely incredible. So this has been a season where the provision of God has really just showcased His faithfulness, and it's been amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Well, I know we talked about new wells, and I'm going to ask you what that is in just a second, but I thought it was important to take a minute and recognize that whoever you are watching, whether it's part of this church family, but also outside of that, just in your own life, God has been faithful this year.
Absolutely.
And it's worth taking a minute to think back and reflect. And so even if you have to hit pause on this video, that's the beauty of technology. We'll be right here when you get back. Take a minute and think about how He's been faithful. Maybe even tell us in the comments, because He's been so faithful to all of us. And when we talk about generosity, we want to do that out of a place of gratitude and recognizing what God's already doing.
So I'm going to try to do something here that I don't really normally do. I want to challenge you to maybe try this Thanksgiving season. So like we're on the Thanksgiving week, to spend a moment in gratitude and spend a moment in Thanksgiving. And even almost every day, do a little bit of internal perspective, a little bit of internal just kind of thinking, and figure out what are you most thankful for in different areas. Like, who are the people you're most thankful for? And spend the day just kind of thinking and praying through the day about those people and thanking God for those people. What are maybe some of the organizations that you're engaged with? Maybe it's your job. Maybe it's your church. What are some of the relationships that are outside of the scope of family? Maybe it's your neighborhood, things of that nature. And just, if you could do that every day with a different area of life, I think that'd be a powerful way to spend your Thanksgiving week.
Yeah, and proof of God's faithfulness is that I didn't even remember it was Thanksgiving week, and here we are.
There we go.
Talking about being grateful.
There you go. Ready to eat some turkey.
Yeah, I don't like turkey, but we'll talk about that another time.
We need to pray for us. Just extend your hands this way. We're just going to take a moment.
I will always accept prayer. Yeah. So, new wells.
Yes.
You introduced this idea of the new well offering. And before we get to the offering, which I want to talk about these awesome organizations, will you just kind of briefly summarize what you mean by new well offering for someone who maybe hasn't watched the message yet?
Yeah. So back at the beginning of the year, when we were kind of making this move and announcing the move to sovereignty as a church, just through prayer and just time and focused in the Word, the Lord really brought to life this picture of wells in Genesis chapter 26. And what ends up happening is we see how God blessed His people, but every time there was a blessing, the weight of that blessing kind of, like, you had to prepare for the blessing. Mm-hmm. And a part of that preparation was creating space, and the way that you created space was by digging wells. There's no way that you can that they could experience expansion of the family, expansion of crops, expansion of their livestock, expansion of really success for their families if there wasn't water sources. And the way that you develop these water sources were by digging wells. So we really just felt completely impressed with this idea that God was asking us to dig new wells. And in the story in Genesis chapter 26, the well that they dig is finally a well that's suitable for the size of their family. It's suitable for what God had done, and there was no conflict to the well. So He actually calls the well open spaces, and that's kind of the promise that we were living in, that God was calling us to live in this new reality of open space. And it was really cool. But then the rest of the passage says that they had honored the Lord with by building an altar and sacrificing to the Lord. And then just right at the end of that chapter, it says, and they dug another well. And for me, it just pointed to this picture of this concept. If we want expansion, if we want to continue to expand the kingdom of God, when I say expansion, that's a scary word for a lot of people. But really, if the Lord is looking to expand His kingdom in our city and we're agents of that expansion, we always should be looking to figure out how to dig new wells, how to invest in some new wells that are being dug in our community. And really, as we celebrate the faithfulness of God to Center City to this incredible year, what an incredible opportunity we have to say, here's some new wells that are being dug in our city that we can turn around and invest some of our time, energy, and finances into.
Yeah, I love that idea, because there is this aspect of faith means stepping out when you don't know exactly what is going to be on the other side of it. You just know that God's in it and God's leading. And so this kind of feels like an opportunity for us to evaluate how we're spending our time, how we're spending our finances, and how we can invest in what God's doing in Charlotte and around the world. Even though we don't know exactly what that'll look like. So you presented 4 different options. Let's just go through really practically and talk through what 4 partners we're going to be investing in with this new well offering.
Yeah, so one of the new ones, Hope Street Pantry, is a food distribution ministry out of Hope Church in North Charlotte. They've been around for years now and doing incredible things, but they've seen such blessing to their ministry. They've affected so many different families that now surrounding communities are inviting them to come in and be a part. So my dad volunteers there every Thursday night, and last Thursday they did a huge Thanksgiving turkey kind of distribution, but it wasn't just the turkey. They gave away like the whole Thanksgiving meal. They had over 400 cars lined up, and they served over 400 families. Now, again, those cars mean multiple families sometimes. So really the expanse of their impact is incredible. And again, they're doing so well that West Charlotte has invited them in. So for the last several months, they've been spending time at the Betty, I always say the name, the Belly Ray. The Belly Ray Center, where they've been distributing food once a month. And there's also one of our local rec centers that they've been distributing food once a month. So really we're starting to see the Hope Street Pantry make an impact here in West Charlotte. And we want to be a part of that. So this is one of the new wells that we're really excited about.
Yeah, and I guess we'll just talk about how to invest at the end of it. So we'll move on from there for now, but we will. There's probably details down below. We'll pop some stuff up on the screen.
We'll give you some info, I think.
So Hope Street Pantry is one.
Yep.
Where else are we digging new wells?
So one of our long-standing partners has been Convoy of Hope, and Convoy of Hope is organization that's really set to help after their disaster relief. And I've known of Convoy of Hope for years. I know Convoy of Hope has been a part of the Center City family for years. We've been in partnership with them even before I got here. Convoy does a phenomenal job preparing food and essential items that are necessary after major national or international disasters, because they're technically all over the world. I've had several experiences with them, but really what I love about Convoy is before a lot of governments can even get into places, before FEMA can get into places, Convoy of Hope usually has a foothold in some of those locations. And we've seen that even recently with the hurricanes. Convoy is there. We've seen that with landslides overseas. Convoy is there. We've seen that with typhoons and earthquakes, and the Convoy's there, and they do a phenomenal job in this just really sensitive time where people need rescue. Convoy's there. So they're an exciting partner.
Yeah, and we've talked about how throughout the years, one of these disasters will happen, and people will ask, "How can we help? What are we doing?" And it's so neat because when you give to this New Well offering or to Kingdom Builders, which we'll be talking about a little bit more in a month or so, then we're already doing that through Convoy, and it's great that they're already ready to go.
Yeah.
So by the time we get our act together and realize something's happened, and then think through something, like they've already got the resources they need, and they've hit the ground running.
It's the type of partner you really are excited about investing in because they have it down. Like they know what they're doing. It's not anything that they're trying to figure out. They know how to step into communities in really dire times and leave, an incredible impact because of their proficiency. So we're excited to partner with Convoy again.
Yeah. Okay. So we've got Hope Street Pantry, Convoy of Hope. What's the next New Well?
So Present Age Ministries. I hate that this ministry even has to exist. That's the truth of it. Unfortunately, the sex trafficking epidemic is not going anywhere anytime soon. And we are a national hub for it here in Charlotte. Every time I look at those numbers, my heart breaks to see the amount of sex trafficking that happens right here in our backyard. 85 is a huge kind of linchpin in some of the transportation that happens around the sex trafficking industry. And it's happening at such an alarming rate, in that with students that are younger and younger and younger, young women are being targeted at such a younger age.
They're really just girls. Even young women is almost this misleading. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little heartbreaking, and it's tough to really even stomach some of the conversations that are necessary. But thank God for people like Present Age Ministries. So last year they joined forces with DSS and CMS, and they began to actually teach courses to 7th grade and 8th grade students in Charlotte about sexual trafficking, which it's sad that that's the type of thing that needs to be done. But I'm excited that there's people willing to do the hard work that's necessary.
And the preventive work to hopefully stop it before it happens. So not just that recovery and helping the people that they rescue, but also to have 7th and 8th graders equipped to know, hey, this is a red flag. I don't want to go there.
And they not only work with prevention, but they also work with women that are rescued from that those horrible situations, and helping them recover, helping them get their feet underneath them, helping them become, kind of find their footing back in society. I even got an email this week that they're looking for foster parents, not just for some of the girls that they pull out of that, but some of the children that are unfortunately a byproduct of some of the sex trafficking that's happening in our backyard. Again, it's tough to even talk about quickly because it bothers my spirit so much. Like I feel so agitated. But I am reminded that sometimes it's that agitation that the Spirit uses to just kind of mobilize His people. So this is one of the wells that we're excited about partnering with. We're partnering with for this new offer, this new wells offering. But also we have some conversations happening this week that we're really excited about to talk about future partnership with Present Age and what that looks like.
Yeah. So then there's one more new well that we're digging, and this one is near and dear to our hearts.
Yes.
We're around them all day, every day.
Urban Promise. So Urban Promise is a ministry that we are the most intimately connected to. They partner and use our facility. They actually technically use our facility more than we do, and we love it. We love the kids getting a chance to see them and hang out with them almost 2 or 3 times a week. The mission of Urban Promise Charlotte is to provide Charlotte children and youth with spiritual, academic, and social development necessary to becoming Christian leaders. And I love that truth. But I've actually gotten a chance to see that. I've seen the way that they've reached out to young students like Malachi, who we got a chance to see in a video this week. We're super proud of Malachi. Malachi was a student who went through Urban Promise, became a street leader, who actually then worked alongside Urban Promise, and now as a college student is being mentored through Urban Promise. And if it wasn't for Urban Promise, there's a really good chance that a lot of those opportunities wouldn't be afforded Malachi. has influenced. And specifically, when you talk about wells here in West Charlotte, although they have locations all over the city, we really focus in on West Charlotte, the West Charlotte location, and they do such a phenomenal job with our students.
Yeah, and so we're not only just giving to support them through this offering, but we also have an opportunity that's basically just a week and a half away to serve them through the Christmas Promise Store. Tell me a little bit about that.
Christmas Promise Store is an opportunity for us to do a couple things. First of all, we, along with other churches, provide gifts for the Christmas Promise Store, and then Urban Promise parents get an opportunity to come in and basically shop for their kids for the holiday season. And these gifts then go to the parents, where they get to wrap up and present the gifts on behalf of the parents. It's just a beautiful picture of what the body of Christ can do, is specifically in our community during this season. So we need some volunteers to kind of help with the distribution of those gifts. Pastor Joey does a phenomenal job kind of getting everybody ready and telling us what to do. It's really not that difficult. It's
it's so much fun.
Yeah, a smiling face, a helping hand, and an opportunity to really get a chance to connect with some people who live here in West Charlotte and, may not know who we are or what we do, and we love it. So that's December 3rd, and it's 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., but there's just several slots that you can serve in. We don't need you here for that whole time. There's different slots you can pick up on. It's a great chance for you and maybe as a family to kind of help serve our community. So that's the Christmas Promise Store.
And this is a friendly reminder, if you are in the Center City family, this Sunday is your last chance to bring back a gift for that Christmas Promise Store. So if you've taken an ornament and you're excited about getting some gifts for that, don't forget, you can still bring it back during the week, but this Sunday, right after Thanksgiving, will be our last Sunday before the Christmas Promise Store happens.
Yeah. So those are our 4 wells. And you may be watching, if you are part of our Center City Church family and you are here Sunday, you know that the New Wells offering is available. Just go to centercity.church/give and, select New Wells offering. But maybe you're not a part of our family. There's more information. So what we'll do, we'll make available links in the description of this video. I would just say what you can do is find out more about these organizations. They all have individual needs. Maybe you're not even watching from Charlotte. Convoy of Hope is a international ministry, has an international arm. So many of these ministries have different variations all over the country too. So just find out more information. It'd be a great way to maybe even supercharge this giving season, just supercharge that and give you an opportunity to give to some really incredible ministries here in Charlotte.
Yeah, and if you are in the Center City family, we're going to be talking about this New Well offering for the next few weeks. So take some time, talk with your family, talk with your kids, and pray together about how you want to contribute. December 11th, that's the second Sunday in December, will be the day that we're celebrating what this offering is. So you've got a little time to figure it out, but then go ahead and give whatever God puts on your heart to give, and we are so excited to celebrate that December 11th. But we're also asking you to give of your time, so not just your money. We'll pop up some links to how you can sign up to serve at Hope Street Pantry over the holiday season. There's plenty of need. The thing about food is you have to eat it regularly. It's not like one time, and aren't we thankful? Amen. But also this Christmas Promise Store, there are just some different opportunities. So check out the links that we've provided, because we want to be a people who give of everything, of our time, our talent, and our treasure. And we're really excited about this opportunity.
It's going to be a great season. Advent's right around the corner. We start this Sunday. I am pumped. This is one of the, it's the most wonderful time of the year.
It is.
I've already started watching the Christmas movies.
I wait till after Thanksgiving, but we're almost there.
It's it's close enough. I feel the magnetic pull of the Hallmark Channel.
Well, you guys have a very happy Thanksgiving. Let us be the first to say, we are so thankful for our church family.
Absolutely.
It is a gift to be able to serve as your pastors, and we're just excited about what God's doing, thankful for what He's done, and just ready to see what is around the corner, because we know He's got something good.
Absolutely.
We'll see you on Sunday.
See you on Sunday.